Hello everyone, this is Bart Coppens. And today I'm going to have dinner with one of my best friends. My best friend is a moth, and I conditioned it to feed from this plastic cup here. I filled it with sugar water. This is a vine hawkmoth, Hippotion celerio, from the family Sphingidae or hawkmoths, and as you can see it can hover just like a hummingbird. And in this plastic bottle cap is a solution of sugar water that it likes. As you can see, it's just free flying here in my room. It doesn't bother me, doesn't seem to be bothered by me at all. In fact, I feed this moth a lot since I wanted to lay eggs for my breeding program. And what's funny is this moth is experienced with feeding with me. And even if I chase it away, for example, let's chase it away with my finger, it will always come back to eat. See? There you go. Now, this is not the kind of behavior that you will typically see from a Saturnid moth in the Saturnidae family, because I also happen to breed a lot of moths that have no functioning mouth parts. And these moths, they only live for 1 or 2 weeks and then they die. As a result, their behavior is all directed at pairing, and they don't have that much elaborate behavior. But hawk moths, I like them because to me they demonstrated moths have actually complex cognitive functions. They are able to recognize and follow an object like this. Here, let's cover it with my hand. It's confusing. Are butterflies and moths, or insects in general, intelligent? Well, I think that insects, including lepidopterans such as these, are more intelligent than we give them credit for, to be honest. Because the ability to cognitively track a blue object like this that is moving and feed from it, which is arguably also a very unnatural thing, I think it requires a high degree of cognition. That being said, intelligence, it's hard to define, isn't it? Especially when it comes to a non-vertebrate. Intelligence is usually defined as problem-solving behavior that results from learning from a situation and adapting, and sometimes resulting in novel behaviors that overcome a certain problem. Now the thing with insects is, insects, they aren't really capable of creating novel behaviors. The thing with insects, including moths, is that they have a limited amount of behaviors, and I guess these behaviors are instinctual. And it doesn't really matter how much you train an insect. It's not able to come up with new behaviors that it isn't born with. Most of the behaviors insects have are completely instinctual. But what they can do is they can apply behaviors that are already innate to them and apply them to novel situations. So, how can I word this more easily? Sorry, I'm just too fascinated by these guys. Look, they're not leaving me. But what I'm trying to say is, insects, they cannot come up with new behaviors. All the behaviors they have are natural. I guess they are instinctual. I would say pre-programmed. And it's impossible for them to come up with new behaviors to solve problems. But what they can do is they can use their natural behaviors and apply them to new situations. So I do think there is a certain kind of intelligence to that. Even though it isn't problem solving by actively thinking, it is an interesting form of adaptation. And I also think some of these natural behaviors also require a lot of cognition. Personally, I'm impressed how these hawk moths right here are able to track this little thingy here and associate it with food. Now, I did lie a little bit. I didn't train these moths or anything to feed from this. They are just naturally attracted to the color. I know what contrast they like. They're attracted to low light spectrum wavelengths, that is blue, that is, I think it's also, well, I think they can't see green, they can see blue. They're attracted to blue. They're also attracted to purple, it seems, and red. They don't seem to care much for green though. And by knowing what colors they like, I filled basically some bottle caps with sugar water, and they automatically come feed from it as long as they taste the sugar. Wow, isn't that amazing? I love these guys, they're like little fairies, man. Now these guys actually, they can feed a lot, they can keep going for quite a while. Wow, isn't that super interesting? Oops, oh, I scared one away. It will come back. There you go. They're actually, it seems they're actually depleting the sugar water a little. I wonder if I should refill it or not. I don't want them to run out of food today. I'm feeding these guys well, they're part of my breeding program. It's a vine hawkmoth, as I mentioned before, the Hippotion celerio. Lovely, amazing creature. It's one of my favorite hawkmoths. And they will lay eggs on, well, I use grapevine to breed them. Although I believe they have other host plants as well. Wow, just look at that. Isn't it super incredible? Adding a second bottle cap in the middle of a big bottle cap, especially one that is lighter in color, seems to make the food even more attractive. Because I guess these moths are very visually oriented. And it's all about contrast when it comes to these animals. The color blue is very attractive to them, of course. So is the taste of something sweet. But if you add a second layer of contrast, for example, if you look at a flower, you'll see that a flower usually in the middle is lighter colored than the outside of it. In fact, a lot of flowers, they actually reflect UV light, and through the eyes of an insect, such as this one, it's basically a huge this thing that contrasts in the middle, you know. Wow, it's feeding time for my cuties. I'm actually breeding a lot of these. I think I'll have one female of this species can lay over 100 eggs if you take care of them well. This is my first generation. I think if I breed them well, I will have a few hundred of these in a few months. That will be a fun video. Imagine me feeding 100 of these guys from one bottle cap. Oh, my room will be swarmed. I cannot wait. Anyway, my monologue about intelligence, it seemed out of place. But what I was really trying to say is that I'm just impressed by the cognitive behaviors of insects like these. Moths are often not really given credit for the amazing things that they can do. But there's also a lot of species of moths that have no functioning mouth parts and that die in 1 or 2 weeks' time. And they don't seem very intelligent. Mainly because all of their behaviors are completely and purely directed at pairing and reproduction. For example, take an emperor moth, a Saturnidae, for example a moon moth or a comet moth. They're famous on my YouTube channel. These guys only live for like 10 days. And the only thing they have to do is really find a mate, reproduce and lay eggs and die. And because of that we can't really see the behaviors that Lepidopterans, the complex behaviors that Lepidopterans are capable of in some situations, because they don't have them. All their behavior is directed at a single goal, that is to find a partner and reproduce. However, some of the more long-lived individuals, such as these hawkmoths, these finches right here, they are capable of more complex things. So, wow, just look. I'm surprised these guys aren't full yet. I swear, they're really drinking a lot. Are you guys this hungry? Oh. Well, if what happens is when they're full is eventually they'll just go away. Eventually they will... Can you see it? Eventually they'll just fly away here in the room and I'll have to retrieve them somewhere. So I really love these guys. Have you ever seen a video like this on YouTube? I bet you haven't. Do you know any other YouTube channel like mine that does stuff like this? I'm actually kind of proud to be one of the biggest channels when it comes to butterflies and moths. I see one has left. Oh, it's coming back. It's still 3 of them feeding, guys. Wow. They're hungry today, huh? Funny thing is I have like 10 pupa of these dudes. So I'm gonna have a small army of these. And if it includes just a few females, then I'll be happy because each female can lay up to 100 eggs. So that will allow me to raise a few hundred individuals. I don't know if I'm going to raise that many insects, but these guys have a super fast life cycle. You can breed really many of them in a couple of months' time. Wow, look at that. Look at them go. It's funny, isn't it? Oh, still here? I'm even out of things to say. Let's talk about the vision of moths, maybe. That would be interesting. Now, I'm improvising, I'm not reading a script. And it's very late at night. So, excuse me if I say things that are wrong. But what's interesting about the vision, especially the color vision of moths, is that it is usually limited to only a few colors. The main colors that moths can see are in most cases blue, green and ultraviolet and nothing else. Blue, green, ultraviolet and nothing else. However, when it comes to diurnal, which are day-flying moths, some of them have more complex color vision, and of course there's the butterflies. Now, butterflies usually have more sophisticated color vision and are also in some cases able to see stuff like red, like yellow even. They definitely see UV. But most of the color vision of Lepidopterans is limited to the lower end of the light spectrum. So lower wavelengths, that is blue, that is ultraviolet, that's purple, etc. So it really depends on the species if they're able to see other colors or not. You'll notice that people who moth trap usually use a lamp that emits UV spectrum light. And that's because that's the main thing that these creatures are attracted to, because the other colors, when you use a light bulb that emits, for example, white wavelength light, then you'll be producing other wavelengths on the light spectrum that are basically useless to the eyes of most species of moths. So I think it would be very cool to do like research on their color vision. I don't know if it's possible for me as an amateur to do that. I'm basically just a hobbyist, not a scientist. But I feel like trying different colors of bottle caps to see which ones they like the most. That would be an interesting experiment for YouTube, don't you think? I can't believe that they're still eating. Man, you guys are so hungry today. Oh, one just flew away. Yep. Wow, it's back. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Man, I swear it's getting empty, man. They're drinking all the water. But there's some in the middle. Gee, guys, how much can you eat? Were you really that malnourished? I feed you well, don't I? Maybe I should share on YouTube what recipe I use to feed you guys. I should make this a regular series on my YouTube, feeding hawkmoths, because that's one of the things I actually really like doing. Watching these creatures feed is so super fascinating. My gosh. Of course in the wild they have this behavior as well. They feed from a wide range of flowers. The species is actually crepuscular, that means they are active during dusk and early in the morning when there's very low light conditions. When you want to feed them, what you want to do is you want to feed them in a dim room. That means not daylight, with dim lights. And I think one just left. Yeah, I don't see... Oh, yeah, I think there's... its stomach is really full, I think. Yeah, they're leaving. Finally, it was about time. Where are you going? Oh my gosh, you're back. I should give them names. Oh my gosh. Wow. Moth feeding is so super awesome. It's kinda a shame that so many moth species aren't able to feed because they literally lack functioning mouth parts. It would be cool if there was any big, like emperor moths that you could feed like this. Imagine them flying around you. These creatures almost appears like they love me, but they're really just here for the food. So, super. Yo, you have to feed more in the middle. Okay. Well, not from the sides. But they're really liking this stuff. Super. Oh man. I could watch these for hours. You know what, if this gets a lot of views, I will do this regularly. I'll just make a series on YouTube where I feed various hawkmoths and just talk. Because this is the most relaxing thing ever. I'm really out of things to say even. Honestly, I am. Just wanted to show you I'm feeding moths. What's funny is you can actually see their stomachs expanding. It's because they can store a lot of nectar, or sugar water in this case, in their stomach. And they have like a crop. You can see their gut actually expanding as they drink. Sometimes they are so full of food that their whole abdomen is swollen. Super. Wow. Whee. This species has a super huge distribution. The Hippotion celerio. I believe it's even found in parts of Africa. They're definitely common in Europe. Although this species is not really in my country. Well, it is here, but super rare. I believe only a few individuals per year are found because they don't really like the cold Dutch climate. But in southern Europe, these dudes can be common. One of their favorite host plants is grapevine, Vitis vinifera. Some farmers go so far as to call them pests in vineyards where grapevines grow, because the caterpillars like to eat them. But I believe these are also found even up to parts of tropical Asia and basically most of the African continent. So this is an insanely insanely successful species. Sorry if I struggle with my words, it's really late and I'm not a native English speaker. So sometimes I'm trying to convey concepts in my mind and it comes out really awkward and weirdly. So, but I guess most of the people who watch my channel know that. What? You guys are so epic. You know what I really want to do? I really just want to raise a ton of these dudes. And just make a video where I'm feeding like 20 of these at the same time. That would be amazing content. I'm going to do it, actually. I've decided. Let's see how many of these I can raise in 2 months. We'll see the video if the rearing goes well. So, oh, wow. Oh, since I'm out of things to say anyway, and since I have your attention, here's something I can still tell you. My YouTube channel is completely and entirely demonetized by YouTube. And YouTube does not support my videos and does not support my channel. That makes it really hard for me as an independent content creator and entomologist. to make a lot of videos on YouTube all the time. Please consider joining my crowdfunding platform Patreon, or consider sending me a tip through PayPal or other options that are available. That will help me make a lot of videos like these. I really spend a lot of time on my YouTube channel. It's grown a lot lately, and I'm really grateful for the fact that so many people are watching it. But I really also want to upgrade the quality of the things that I make. And it costs really a lot of time and resources and effort. Just want to throw that out there. Internet begging, I'm not a fan of it myself, but I'm forced to do it if I want to keep making these long episodes. I see they keep drinking from the outer ring, since this is basically 2 bottle caps, and I see they've drank most of the sugar water on the edges. I should add more water. Can we do that? Or am I gonna chase you guys away? Sorry dudes. There you go. Whoop! Oops, it's overflowing. And now my legs are covered with sugary nonsense. Oops, I think the moth didn't like that. But I think they are getting full, really. I think the rest is not hungry anymore, and this is the last one. But we're going to continue until all the moths are satisfied. So this is our last little guy. I'm gonna feed him until he leaves, which I think is pretty soon because his friends are already finished. At least that's what I think. I can see them flying around, but they are not interested in the cup. Oh, I see some of them have settled here on the wall. Oops, the cup is dripping and I'm spilling all over myself. What the heck? Super cute little animal. Whee! I can't believe Silence of the Lambs damage a reputation of moth breeders such as myself this much. As you can see, we're pretty cool people, okay? We're not serial killers. Silence of the Lambs destroyed our reputation, man. What? I bet most people would like to have stuff like this as a pet. I swear. Oh, that's my phone. It's sending annoying messages. Look, just look at it. It's amazing, isn't it? It is amazing. Nobody can tell me otherwise. The world of insects is beautiful and underrated, man. It hurts my heart. And I'm really happy and grateful so many people are watching my show. Because to me it shows there's a lot of people who are interested in the beauty of insects. And in the things I have to say about them. Because I want to show you cool stuff like this that not many people are aware of. So, I think I have over 1,000 videos now. At least approaching 1,000. Yeah, little dude. You're hungry, aren't you? Man, you really are hungry. My arm is starting to hurt. Actually, from holding up this cup. Man. Ah, it's spilling. Let's see you feed from this. Yep. Doesn't bother you, does it? Little hummingbird. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna put this guy down. I'm finished. My arms are starting to hurt. Thank you for watching my hawkmoth feeding video. It was unusual, but I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.